the sleep lab, and you see patients. You hook your patients up, and you run a sleep study. Now, when you're running that sleep study, you will have what's called a preceptor. A preceptor is someone who is already a sleep technologist and has enough what they call experience in the field. They're registered, and they kind of tutor you through the lab. So it's kind of like you get a mentor, and you go through that clinical session for the your first fall semester. You don't have clinicals at all. Your second fall semester is when you start clinicals, and then no clinicals for the summer, and then your second fall. Make sure I said that right. Your first fall, no clinicals, so it's just all classwork. In the spring is when you start your first clinical, right? So the spring you do clinical, the summer we have no clinicals, the fall you do clinical rotation, and the spring you do clinical rotation. So you go to sleep clinics 3 times a week, 3 times within your entire program. Those clinical times are about 16 weeks. So you're not just sitting in class, you're also getting hands-on experience. Yeah, and it's the same thing with the other health sciences programs as well. Like if you get into the rad tech program, the respiratory therapy, most of these you will have to have a clinical component. So that's just a little brief overview about what it'll be like when you get into the sleep program and join us. Um, what are your thoughts about sleep in general?
Okay, coming from a non-professional person who knows nothing about sleep, um, I I love sleep. I am the type of person who needs to take a nap throughout the day. I am the type of person who I don't know if I would consider myself a light sleeper or a deep sleeper. It really depends on like my tiredness. Um, Also, I don't know. I love sleep, me personally.
Who doesn't?
If I can sleep all day, I would. I know that's not the healthiest
Doesn't?
thing, but listen. When you tired, you tired, and you wanna rest. Um, I'm also a dreamer when I sleep, and I feel like that kind of gets me excited to go to sleep a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. I'm weird, y'all. I'm weird.
We're all weird. Sleep is weird, but we all weird, so we all like to sleep.
I know.
Very few people like to sleep. There are a lot of people who like to sleep but can't sleep, and they actually suffer from insomnia. There's transitional insomnia where you will have insomnia that doesn't last very long. Like let's say you're in a new environment, you go to a hotel for a weekend, you know you're in bed, so you don't sleep that well. So that's kind of like a transitional temporary insomnia. But there's some people who have chronic insomnia who just cannot sleep for the past. Once you hit like a 3 month period and you still cannot sleep and you're experiencing that insomnia, that's when we go into people having chronic insomnia. And I know that they really, really want to sleep, but it gets really, really hard for people to try to get to sleep.
Yeah. I feel like I've had moments like that too, especially with having anxiety. I know anxiety, I can be anxious for something. Even like as a kid, I just remember trying to go to bed or just like thinking about having to go to school the next day, or like if it was like a special holiday, thinking about the next holiday, like, oh my gosh, I'm anticipating the next day where I can't fall asleep. And I'm so tired, but my body just won't my mind just won't let me
Yeah.
fall
Rest.
asleep.
Yeah.
And
Man,
so
I
it's,
hate when that
I
happens.
know, I know. I try. And normally whenever I do have anxiety when I go to sleep, I typically like play some like instrumental beats or something like that, or something to calm my mind.
Soft calming.
Yeah, just like how when people used to say, count your sheep.
Yeah.
I try to do that, and then my mind will be like, well, what color is the sheep?
Right.
How? I know I'm supposed to be counting, but like, is it adult
want the
sheep? Is it
detail.
baby sheep? Yeah, the details.
Are they lambs?
Are they? Yeah, where they come from? Like, where they going? Like, I start thinking
know
more.
more. Wow.
Yeah, but I also feel like when I start thinking like that, that opens up my dream world, which kind of I can feel myself like not being delusional, but I get that delusion of like, am I really asleep?
Am I asleep or
Or
not?
yeah,
Right.
or am I still awake? But
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And I can relate to that a little bit. A little bit also about, okay, so what is a sleep technologist, right? A lot of people, that's the big problem with the sleep field now. Like there are so many jobs available for sleep technologists, especially here in the Chicagoland area. This is a very, very hot demand for hospitals and private labs. But a lot of people don't know what's a sleep tech. What does sleep tech do? So one thing to know about a sleep tech is that we work primarily overnight. We perform what's called, in the general world, people know them as sleep studies, but the proper name for, or the medical term for it is polysomnography. So what we do is say that word 3 times, polysomnography.
Polysomnography. Polysomnography. Polysomnography.
That's what we do. But we just say sleep study, right? Because
Yeah.
it's a bit, or we say sleep tech, right? Because we're polysomnographic technologists. So
Oh,
it's
yeah, that's a
easier to
lot.
say a sleep study and a sleep tech, right? So we hook patients up to an array of wires, right? And we monitor their sleep. We hook them up to EEG wires, which shows us their brain waves while they sleep, so we can identify what stages of sleep a person is in. We can also sometimes identify nocturnal seizures. A lot of people feel like, oh, when they wake up, I just feel weird, or like I have headaches, or they'll have
Like
these symptoms.
disoriented.
Right, but they don't know what's going on, and they could be having nocturnal seizures. So sometimes we can identify nocturnal seizures in patients when they're coming to have a sleep study.
Wow.
So not only do we hook up the EEG wires on the head, we put heart monitors on the patient so that we can watch their heart. We put a pulse oximeter on their fingers so we can watch their blood oxygen levels. We put respiratory belts on their chest, so they get a respiratory belt across the chest and across the tummy. And what that does is it shows us the rise and fall of their lungs while they're breathing. We call it respiratory effort, but when you look at it on the screen, it shows a nice big up and down crescendo and decrescendo. So we see the breathing, we see the rise and fall of the chest. We also have leg wires, so some patients have restless leg syndrome or periodic limb movement where their muscles are having bursts of movement while they're sleeping. And in certain sleep stages, we're not supposed to move at all. Some people, we see movements like with REM sleep behavior disorder and stuff like that, so we'll look for that. We also put cannulas on them. So one is a nasal pressure, so that we can see every breath that a patient takes out of their nose, and we count every nasal breath. And then there's another piece, we call it a thermistor, that goes, it kind of connects to that nasal, it goes in the nose and then kind of hangs over the mouth. And what that does is it counts every single mouth breath. So if the patient is a nasal breather or a mouth breather, we get every single breath. Okay. And then we use those to identify if their breathing is obstructed. We see if their oxygen levels are dropping during the night. So it's a lot that we're keeping an eye on during the night and that we're hooking the patient up to. But it's not a stressful job at all. One of the main things we want to do is make sure that our patients are comfortable, right? Because you're coming to a sleep lab in your pajamas with someplace new, your camera is on you, your wire's on, you're already like, I don't know if I'll stop breathing or not. So the anxiety in the sleep lab is really, really high. So one of the things that we have to do is make sure that people are like relaxed and calm, kind of reassure them. So that's just a rundown. And if a patient shows that they have apnea, like they have obstructed breathing or they stop breathing at all, and it happens so many times during the night, the sleep technologist, is our job after we identify that to go in. We'll take the cannula out of their nose and the thermistor out of their nose, and we will put them on the CPAP machine. And then we try to keep their airway open while they're asleep. And I know I'm making it sound really, really simple, but once you learn it, it's really, really easy. It's a really easy and chill job. We do work 10 to 12-hour shifts overnight, 3 to 4 days a week. But it's a really rewarding job.
Honestly, that sounds very, very peaceful to me. And it just sounds very cool because you can monitor and see what goes on. Now, however, I can see how for some people it may seem a little not too interesting because you're watching someone sleep. However, but it is really cool just to think about how it is when you're actually sleeping. Like when you're monitoring someone else's sleeping, you're like thinking, because I would think like, oh, is this how I sleep? Well, how do I breathe? Am I a mouth breather? Am I a nasal breather? Because I don't know. We be sleeping. We be sleeping. well, let me not say we are
be
sleeping.
We be knocked out.
Yeah, we drooling everything. Like, it's crazy. Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
So you talked about the movement in sleep and like your muscles doing like a what's the word for it? I want to say like a pulse.
Kind of. We just say like burst, like a muscle burst. Like when we see it on this one, like just a muscle movement or a twitch or something like that.
So where do you think that would come from? Like what may cause that?
So there are several different things that I have heard. Some from physicians, some from reading. Some have said that it could be from a lack of a certain, not vitamin. I'm losing the word for this. Like a potassium, if you will, right? So when a person has a muscle cramp, and just to let you know, some people have like muscle cramps in their legs and stuff when they're asleep, and they think that it's, oh, it's just like arthritis or that it's gonna rain. Sometimes there is a diagnosis of like a sleep cramps in your leg. Like, and when a person is getting cramps in their legs, it's their body needs more oxygen in it, and the muscle is actually trying to create oxygen itself, so it tenses up and squeezes, and then we have that cramp, right?
Yeah.
That's why when we tell people, okay, I'm having a muscle cramp, somebody may say, oh, eat a banana, right?
Yeah.
But instead of telling someone eat a banana, tell them take in deep breaths. Because your body is trying to make its own oxygen, and that's what's causing that leg cramp.
Yeah.
So one sign of somebody having periodic limb movements or those muscle bursts in sleep is, that's why they're having a sleep study, because when you have a certain type of apnea and your oxygen levels drop while you're sleeping for like periods of time, you can start having muscle twitches or like small like muscle cramps in your leg. And then you'll hear a patient wake up and it's like, I always feel like I've been running.
Oh yeah.
Because your legs have been active in sleep, and when we hit REM sleep and stay, we're not supposed to have any muscle activity. Our body's supposed to relax every muscle, and that too is what causes apnea too, because the muscles in our throat, like our upper airway, if you're sleeping on your back and you're in REM sleep,
It's relaxed.
it's relaxed and it's falling backwards on you, so it's closing your upper airway, causing apnea, causing your oxygen to dip, and then with some people causing leg movements.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's crazy because I can recall me having a couple of times where I would wake up out of my sleep, like literally jumping out of the bed because my leg is like tight or my foot is like tight. And I went to the doctor for it and they were like, oh, you're just dehydrated, which I was, but it kept happening after I was hydrated. So I guess that is something to like, I guess think about, just like breathe, because I never thought to like breathe through it. Yeah, I was always just like, well, let me stretch it out, or let me drink some water, like you say, like let me eat a banana really quick to get that back to normal. But I never even thought to just take a second and just breathe. Because breathing is so essential,
It
like
is
for
so essential.
everything. It's so crazy because we do it every day, but you have to be mindful of your breathing.
There's a lot of times when you need to be mindful of your breathing, and one of those is, like you said, first of all, hydration is everything. If anything is wrong with you, I don't care if it's something small or something big, the first thing you want to do is hydrate. Now, you don't want to do it too quickly. There was a story recently in the news of a young woman who had gone for a run. I don't know if you've heard that story. She had gone for her run like she normally does, and it was a pretty long run. And she came back and she felt dehydrated and was drinking. And she drank, I think they said like about 4 bottles of water, which her kidneys could not process 4 bottles of water that quickly. And she ended up actually passing away from like drinking too much water at one time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because her kidneys couldn't filter it as fast as it needed to through the body. So she ended up passing away. So just stay hydrated and remain. And don't try to do anything like that too quickly, because you think, oh, it's water, it's good for you. Yeah, but too much of anything is not good for you.
You definitely have to balance it.
Oxygen, right? While we're talking about oxygen, if we're up and we're healthy right now and we're at normal oxygen levels, if we were to put on supplemental oxygen right now and we don't need it, we could cause our lungs to collapse.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's too much. Too much of anything can be a bad thing.
Yeah, it's always that balance. Always gotta have that balance.
That yin and that yang. Gotta have that balance in everything.
Okay, so my next question, something that I wanted to piggyback off of. So you mentioned the word REM, and me personally, it's like I know what it is. I don't know if it stands for anything. I've heard it. I know people talk about it a lot. So for those who don't know anything about REM sleeping, what is that?
So REM sleep stands for rapid eye movement, right? So we identify REM sleep on the PSG, the polysomnograph that we're looking at. We identify REM sleep by a couple of things. Electrodes that we put on shows like muscle movement, and then to us, we can tell the difference from when the muscle looks like active and when it's not. So when a patient goes into REM sleep, that muscle wire that we're looking at, it doesn't look active. I don't know how to really describe it without people being able to see it, but we see the muscles starting to relax. And then if you look at the eyes, there are two EEG wires that we place on the patient that shows us their eye movement. And literally, when you're sleeping, the eyes will move rapidly. You will see the eyes going up and down, left and right, up and down, left and right. Looking I call it almost like butterfly wings and scream, and it's very distinctive. So that's how we can tell that a person is in rapid eye movement. And this is what scientists believe that that's where we dream, because the eyes are going, they're looking around, you're in this dream world and you're looking at what you're dreaming.
Yeah.
So that's what causes the rapid eye movement, and that's why they named that stage of sleep REM, rapid eye movement sleep.
Gotcha.
Any other sleep stage? So the other sleep stages, there's stage 1, and we call it N1. There's stage 2 and there's stage 3. So there's N1, N2, and N3. Now the N stands for non-rapid eye movement sleep. So non-rapid eye movement sleep stage 1, non-rapid eye movement sleep stage 2, non-rapid eye movement stage 3. However, when you're in stage 1, we will see what we call like slow rolling eyes. You ever like take a peek at somebody as they're like drifting off, and like you look at their eyelids and it looks like it's just rolling around,
Like babies.
like babies, right? But they that's slow rolling eyes, and it looks different from rapid eye movement. Rapid eye movement is kind of sharp and jagged. Rolling eyes, it's like a ball, like hilly, right? Like some sideways C's going on right there because they're rolling. One fun fact about babies go right into REM sleep. They don't.
So these are a couple of my on
New infant babies, they go right into REM.
deal for that.
I guess that can make sense because, I mean, that's like their natural thing, first thing as a baby. Like, they have nothing to stress about. They just like, once it's time to go to sleep, it's like, oh, yeah. They may fight it a little bit, but, you know, they'll eventually just drift off.
Right. I always wonder, like when I started learning about this and like stuff about babies, I wonder, what are you dreaming about?
Right.
What do you have to dream about? You've never even been in the world before, so it's very interesting that that rapid eye movement sleep. Also, people who are considered blind, they also have a REM sleep, and I'm wondering, like people who were born blind and they have REM sleep, I wonder like what were they like dreaming about? But I believe one said they may dream about like things that they've heard, like they're from their senses, which is very interesting. I'd love to talk to someone who was born blind to talk to them about their dreams.
You can't visualize anything because you haven't seen anything. So it's like, what do you see in your dreams? So what do you see in your sleep? Is it sound waves? Is it darkness? Is it... And not so, you know, and I'm not, you know, trying to be ignorant about the topic or anything, but it's just like, really, like, what is it that... Yeah, it's very interesting to know and to think about.
So here's a fun fact that I have for you. Tigers and infants sleep the same amount. Most human infants need about 16 hours of sleep per day, about the same as a full-grown tiger. And let me ask you a question. Do you know what the sleepiest animal in the world is?
The sleepiest animal in the world. Now, if I was going into fictional times, I would say Eeyore or Igor, whatever his name is from Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. I don't. What type of animal?
Eeyore. He was a donkey.
He was a donkey. He was a chunky donkey.
He was a chunky donkey.
Let's see, the sleepiest animal in the world. Is it a mammal? It has to be a mammal, right? Maybe. I don't know. What would it be?
When you think about sleeping animals, what do you think?
Something that moves slow, like a turtle, maybe like an elephant, maybe like a... Nothing that moves fast. Nothing that is on the move.
Okay.
Like a tiger. Because I feel like that's why tigers sleep so short.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just give me one. A turtle?
Yeah,
A turtle?
I'll go with
Or a
that.
sloth, right?
Or a sloth, yes.
So neither of those are correct.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not, and they're one of the cutest animals in the world. The koala. Yeah, the koala is the sleepiest animal of the world. It spends about 18 to 22 hours a day sleeping. Wow. What an amazing life.
I was just about to say, must be nice. Oh my gosh.
That's funny. And you know what? They have, they're kind of like kangaroos. They have little babies and they call them joeys. And the joeys stay in the mom's pouch for, I want to say like 15 months.
Oh my gosh.
So they're all like sleeping and stuff. So
Must be nice to be sleeping underneath your mom, right?
yeah, it is.
Oh my goodness. I miss those days.
Miss those days. Oh, hey, mom.
Right.
So this was something interesting that I kind of wanted to talk about. So this Sunday is going to be daylight savings time, right? We're about to fall back, right? Setting our clocks back about an hour at 4 o'clock. You're not ready?
I already wake up early, right? So I'm going to be waking up even earlier,
Right.
but on time.
Right. So daylight savings time in the fall is actually better for our health than the daylight savings time over the spring. Very interesting. There's been some research done on daylight savings time. Like when we set our clocks forward and we lose that hour of sleep, one interesting fact they found is that the rate of heart attack rise.
Oh, wow.
Yep, and when it falls back again and we regain that hour of sleep, the risk of heart attack lowers. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. And I never would have thought daylight saving times have such a big impact
Yeah.
on the way we live, honestly. Like, I know it affects our sleep. You know, the first, like, couple of few days, we're like, oh, I'm not used to waking up this early, or I'm not used to it getting dark this late or this early. But the fact that it has those, like,
Health implications.
yes,
Right?
it's really...
I mean, it just shows how important even losing 1 hour of sleep is. One thing that we discuss a lot about in class early on is good sleep hygiene. Because getting a good sleep hygiene for yourself is going to be everything. It's going to affect the outcomes of how you perform in school, how you perform at work, and how you show up in life in general. And you see that just by losing 1 hour of sleep, you put yourself at higher risk of heart disease and heart attack and heart failure. The death rates actually go up for that in the spring, which is crazy. But there is something that we can do to offset that, and that is go to sleep an hour earlier, right? Like, even though we have to wake up earlier. So how about instead of going to bed at 10, we're now going to bed at 7. Hi. So we're still here at Moraine Valley. We're at our 2023 Fall Open House event. We got a lot of students that are here, interested parents that are here. All of our programs are well represented here right now. They're having a talk, and once the talk is finished, hopefully I'll be able to scoop up a couple of interested people and ask them a few nice trivia questions about sleep and see if they know anything. I'm going to try to steal one of my colleagues here in a minute to see if they can come over and talk a little bit about their program. I'm gonna take a quick commercial break, and Casey, you can go ahead and thank our sponsor.
We don't have any sponsors at the moment, but I can talk a little bit, you guys. I don't know anything about sleep. Like I said in the beginning, all I do is just go to sleep. I do, like I said, also, I dream a lot when I sleep. And that's something that I want to, know more about, because I have very symbolic dreams. And I want to know if, the way that I sleep has an effect on the way that I dream. But that's more here or there. However, our brief intermission is now over, and we do have our first guest here.
it's just super fun. And now, as promised, I have Beth here with us, and she is going to talk just a little bit about our RAD program here at Moraine. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Tracy?
I'm doing good. This is my first time coming to an open house, and so far, I'm really loving it.
Yeah, this is a great event for everybody to come out and see the programs that we offer here at Moraine and
Okay.
learn more, learn about the admissions process,
Okay.
talk to academic advisors, and just see what all we offer here at the college.
It's amazing. I feel like everybody is kind of well represented here. We were so surprised when we came and people were actually here. I'm like, wow, people are here and on time and they're asking real questions at 9 o'clock in the morning. You
On a
know,
Saturday.
On a Saturday.
This is a big event that Moraine holds every year.
Man. So tell us about your program.
So the radiology program, it teaches people how to take x-rays of patients to help with diagnosis. We do have to talk to people, we do have to touch people. Some of them are where it's very a private thing. Could be embarrassing for some patients, but you have to keep them comfortable. We teach you how to use the equipment, how to protect patients and yourself from radiation exposure, because we do use radiation to take those images, and it's very important to understand the safety behind it also.
Yeah, I think that's like we've been driving in healthcare. We kind of always have, but especially after COVID, we're like safety first. Safety first.
Definitely.
And with you guys dealing with the radiation and stuff, I know that safety is a huge thing there. So, do you have one thing I was wondering? Do you guys have a clinical aspect of your program, or is everything done in-house?
We have a clinical aspect. Students actually start clinical 5 weeks into the program.
Wow.
So they actually do 1,400 hours of clinical throughout the 2 years of the program. That's so that they can get their hands-on experience. There are required competencies, so exams that they have to complete on actual patients before they can graduate from the program.
Wow,
That is a lot of experience.
that's a lot of
Yes.
experience.
I love that.
Is it a pretty rigorous program?
It is a very rigorous program. I usually tell the students getting in that first semester is the hardest because you're learning all kinds of new information, and then continuing on into the 2 years, then we're building onto that knowledge. So it's almost like a full-time job. The students the first year are in clinical for 16 hours a week, and then in class they're probably in at least that much or more. So I tell them it's like a full-time job.
Yeah, the dedication
The
has to be
dedication.
there.
I
Yeah,
need them to be
dedication,
dedicated
study,
for real.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, what is it like? Is it a very what's the word like when people are applying? Is it very competitive to get into this program?
It is a competitive program. I usually suggest students take medical terminology, your anatomy, physiology classes, and we offer a math for healthcare or even statistics they can take to help get them prepared to be into the program or apply for the program.
So if they're interested in the program, suggest, hey, take your medical time, take your A&P, take
Yeah.
these things to make you your prerequisite. Make sure that you make yourself competitive to get into the program.
Yes, get good grades, work hard, study, but also maybe radiology is one of a couple things that you're interested in. That medical terminology, those anatomy, physiology, math courses can also go into other programs.
It translates,
so
right.
you can go into health information or sleep technology with those courses. So if radiology might be one of a couple of things that you're thinking about, you're prepared to go into any of those courses by getting those few
Having the
courses
basic
starting.
for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you suggest for high school students who may not have, they're coming out of high school, they're interested, do you take high school students or how does
So radiology has to take students that are 18 years or older because of the risk of radiation exposure. However, I try to encourage high school students to start taking medical terminology in high school. A lot of our local high schools have a dual credit or dual enrollment option. So some of the high schools actually have medical terminology on their campus, or the students can come to our campus and take medical terminology. And in fact, once a student is 16 years old, they can start taking college classes here at Moraine Valley.
Really?
So they can take their bios, their maths, even some of their other gen eds like the comm, the English, the speech, the computer classes, psych humanities. They can start working
The
on those.
101 kind of courses. Wow. Do they have to go through like the regular admission process for that?
They do
or-
have to go through the regular admissions process, but it's as soon as they're 16, they can start taking classes. So I would say, talk to admissions, talk to academic advisor to work on figuring out where you need to go and what classes you can take.
That sounds good. Is there anything interesting or juicy that you can tell our listeners that's fun or something about the program or an experience that you had?
So I've been an X-ray tech for 25 years. I still work on the weekends. I love it. I like my patient contact. The one story that I tell patients all the time, there was one patient that I had to do a lot of exams on. Other techs had experience with this person. He was kind of grumpy. He wasn't real happy to be in the hospital. Nobody is. But when I started working with him and I started explaining what I was doing, kind of explaining why I was doing the exams I was and what they could possibly be looking for, and what I needed him to do to help me do the best exams possible. After having that conversation, you could see his mood lightening, and then we started kind of just talking casual, joking around a little bit. By the end of finishing his exams, he was smiling. He thanked me for explaining everything because no one else took the time to do that. So it made me feel good that I changed his attitude about being in the hospital. Even though no one wants to be there, he felt better. He felt more a better understanding, and he had an idea of other questions he could ask his nurse and doctor when he went back to his room.
That's pretty. Yeah, I feel like that's crucial.
It is, especially being somebody who's not in the medical field, and I go to doctors and stuff like that. It's always that anxiety. It always gets me. But once I feel comfortable, it's like, okay, I'm trusting you, and now we can like really move on with this process and help figure out what is going on.
Exactly. It's scary, and people don't know that they sometimes need to be their own patient advocates, and don't be afraid to ask questions and question why a doctor is doing something or why something is being done a certain way. It's crucial to ask those questions. And I think it's crucial as a healthcare worker to take that extra minute to explain what you're doing and why you could be doing it. So.
Listen, Beth, you took the words like out of my mouth. That's one thing I think that we all teach our techs as we're training them.
Yes.
Is know how to identify. All right, why is this patient grumpy and upset? Right, and it's probably because nobody took the time out to explain it to him. We're just like, let me hurry up, rushing through. But then when we do that kind of stuff, like the outcome is so much better, much better. But then I want everybody to know that Beth is an OG. I love Beth. She can make anybody feel comfortable doing anything. Like since day one, since I've been here, she's been my ride or die, and she's such a good encouragement. If you decide to apply for the Rad Tech program, reach out to the advisors and the counselors. You can reach out to Beth. Beth, how can they contact you?
They can email me via the website, actually, morainevalley.edu, and just in the search type RAD, and our radiology page will come up, and at the very bottom it says contact for more information. That's the easiest way because those emails come directly to me and I can respond back to them. Any of the academic advisors know who I am, so they know how to put out my information also.
Awesome. Do you have anything else for Beth? Any question or anything?
I think we kind of went through everything. I love that you care. That's like my number one thing, especially in healthcare, because it's like it's our lives, and once you have someone that actually genuinely cares to help you, it feels so much. You feel so much better. Yeah.
And I feel good that I can touch a patient's life and try to make them feel a little more at ease, and I know that I'm helping them
Right.
to get better.
Right. Yep.
And they'll always come back to you. They trust
They'll
you.
always come back. Yep. Nothing like when your boss gets that information about you that you helped somebody overcome something and they feel better or something. I love that.
Exactly.
All right, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you for talking to us about your program. If you guys need any more information about that, go to the website, click on the Radiologic Technology Program. She's very easy for you to get in contact with. Thank you again for your time. We
Thanks for
appreciate it.
talking with me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. All right. Another one of our wonderful programs here at Moraine, right? And it is a very rigorous program. So, and not only do they take patient care seriously, they take, not only do they take your education seriously of what you're learning, they're taking patient care seriously.
Right. It's your life.
It's your life, and it means a lot. And it's a very competitive program. So if you do get into the RadTech program, take it for real. Do your studying. Like she said, it could be like a full-time job. You have school, a lot of school, and you have a lot of clinical hours. 1,400 clinical hours.
That is great. So by the time you do land your job, it's easy. It's easy for you, and then you're gonna be making money that you need. It's perfect.
And it sounds like you're going to be really well prepared to take your board exam. Because even like for sleep, once you finish your sleep technology associate's degree, there's another test that you have to take, and it's called the registered. You ready for this? The registered polysomnography technologist registration. Just like registered nurses have their registration, so does sleep tech. So we have a registry that we get that gives you a credential to do what you do. And then so does radiology. And I believe it's another one. Respiratory therapy, they also have one. So some of our programs, they do require for you to get further testing. Now, do you have to be registered to be a sleep tech? It's up to your employer. Do you want to? Absolutely. Because that's going to determine your pay. That's going to determine your skill level. So this is something, investing in your pay and your future. You coming here to Moraine and taking up our accredited sleep program, our accredited, I believe accredited. I'm not sure if it was accredited for their program. I believe it is. But we want to come here and invest in it. We have some community members. Hello, ladies. Hi. They're still filing in to come and get some more information. Looks like we have just like a regular community member. Did you have any?
Any questions?
Yeah,
Sorry. I was skimming through this book just to see some things. I kind of wanted to save this for like the very last bit of our podcast.
You can.
Yeah, because it's going to take me like 2 minutes or so. So I'll save this for later. Oh, go ahead.
So earlier you mentioned that you like to take naps, right?
Yes.
How long do you nap for?
Oh, let's see. It really depends on the day. If I had a very long, and it also depends on my mood as well. So let's just say I had a very long day, not in the best mood. I would probably take a nap intentionally for an hour. Unintentionally, it can last up to 3 hours. And it also depends on the time of day.
I think you may need to come and see me and get a test for narcolepsy or excessive daytime sleepiness, because that's a lot of sleep for one nap. A healthy nap should be 20 minutes, no longer than 30.
Yeah. However, though, I will say, once I've changed my lifestyle of eating, I haven't been taking naps as frequently throughout the day. And if I do take a nap, it is between like maybe 30 minutes to an hour.
Right.
So I will say my eating habits have definitely changed, and that has definitely helped with my napping throughout the day.
That's good. That's good. That's really good. Anything that can help you with your sleep.
Right. Oh,
And your diet definitely does that.
And I was going to ask too, so how does your diet and your eating habits affect your sleep?
So have you ever heard of this thing called the Blue Zone?
I feel like I've heard it, but I do not know what it is.
So the Blue Zone, it's a book. about these areas where people are living past 100, like most people are living like 100 up. One of the things that they talk about in the Blue Zone are their habits. They take naps during the day. They may call it a siesta at some places. And also, they're eating their largest meal at lunch. So their dinner is not their largest meal. They have smaller breakfast. They have a large lunch. Not to say, our large is going to be different than the large in the US, right? Or the large in Singapore. But their largest meal is eaten at lunch, and they eat a smaller meal at dinner. And all their food that they eat is usually consumed before 6 or 7 o'clock. Giving their digestive systems time to properly digest before they lay down for an 8-hour sleep. So if you look at their eating habits and their sleeping habits, and it's the same across the board. It was like 5 blue zones. I know there's one in Greece, there's one in Singapore, there's another one in Japan, and there's a few more. But one thing that's consistent with all of them is the way that they sleep and the times and everything that they eat. So, absolutely.
Especially for me, when I was a little bit younger, like high schoolish, a little bit in college as well, I used to be a late night eater. I would wake up out of my seat and probably eat like a bowl of cereal, or I'll get like some chips or something like that, and then I would immediately just go back to sleep. And then I would wake up feeling so bad. I would feel sluggish. Like my energy wouldn't be as high as I expected it to be. My stomach would kind of hurt a little bit. And that was something that I definitely had to change. And because it did affect my sleep as well. I was waking up at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to eat a bowl of cereal.
Yeah,
like,
I do that.
I don't do it anymore, but it used to be every day with me.
And if you do feel like you want to wake up and have a snack, something maybe sweet, make sure you have it pre-planned. Like, I know a lot of people don't like to eat a lot of fruit. We all can probably increase that. But then have some raisins or maybe some yogurt-covered raisins if you're looking for something sweet. I don't know if people like banana chips. Like my sons love banana chips instead of potato chips. Find just different supplements that are a bit healthier so that if you do want to get up and have a late night snack, you're not going straight for the chocolate or the ice cream like I do. You're going for something a bit more healthy. So, I'm going to take another intermission and see if I can't get another one of my lovely colleagues to come over and talk about their program.
The students are also walking out of the auditorium right now.
We'll do that.
So yes,
Looks like they're coming out.
I wish you guys can see. It's about to open.
It's opening up.
Hear this little bit? Yeah, we love this. I feel like I'm talking loud, so I can't hear myself with these headphones.
That's funny. I'm going to see if I can get someone to come and talk to you.
I love this, guys. This is a great interaction. This is a great learning experience, especially for me. I am definitely
was
Great.
Josh. Josh was nice. He
So
answered a
nice.
few questions.
Yeah.
And he was very, very shocked. I wish I had the camera on his face so he could see how long a koala sleeps.
You know, some people don't really
2
want
hours.
to be on the camera, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
Oh, that is so. I think it's magnetic.
Okay, no, this one's sticky, and then stick on your wall.
I need to. Every time I go there, Lynn takes us back there, and then it's just like a whole wonderland there. Like there's this. I need to go. I need to go on anything. There's this. One of her Tumblr she had showed us. And she's like, I'll eventually put it out there. And I'm like, it's like a white, and it has MB like in different colors.
And someone said, I don't know because I'm not key. She had to return them. So I wonder if they're not. And I know what you're talking about. And I'm like, I saw them.
It said like, from what I remember, it said MB, and the MB was in like in different colors, but it was like all white.
Yeah, I thought I saw them.
I gotta go one day and just go back there browsing. I need like a nice mug for like my office, but I Ooh, I need to go one of these days and make myself a little trip there.
I like white.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. They're doing tours. That was cool. Oh no, you're okay. You're good.
She was like,
Yeah, they're doing tours around.
she's like, she's the one that came and asked for me. She's like, I think she asked for you. I'm like, yeah.
Time check.
And I was telling her, oh, I found
Time
out.
check.
I researched and I found out.
It is 10:28. My, how time flies when you're having fun.
I know, right?
I'm gonna see if I can grab that real quick. I wanted to see if I can get another student to come over and we can ask them if they want.
I think they were meant
I
like
am tired.
stainless steel.
Come on. Gotta get the Snickers, right?
I just go back there and I'm just like, I don't even know where to look.
You're gonna do some more trivia. Yes, yes, yes.
Look,
Not ice cream soda.
these are like magnet,
Now
these
she's,
are
I think
sticky
she's talking
stickers,
about.
and then there's smaller.
Oh no, I'm saying a TikTok. Sorry, guys. Oh, gracias. señora. Oh, and it's milk. Sorry, y'all. I'm taking a quick Snickers break. ASMR.
Well, today,
When Andy goes, it's gonna be 5. Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna show you guys. Oop, so sorry about the camera, guys. How beautiful is this campus? This is nice, guys. Awesome. So I'm not sure if you guys can hear. Okay, let's check out these comments. There's no comments. Can I see who's in here? Sorry, y'all. I'm all up in the camera. But I hope y'all can hear this. I'm going to try to extract the audio from the microphones to this video. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to try. But yes, guys, we're here. We're doing a podcast live at Marina. Hold on, let me see. Just so y'all can get a little. And obviously, we're talking about sleep. Who doesn't love to sleep, right? Oh, why does this keep locking? Hold on, y'all. All right. It's a bear. It's a bear.
I'll give you half of my.
Ah. Yes. Yes. Sleeping. Yeah, snoozing. Yeah, just lounging around. Yeah. 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 Like a reptile. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, that's true. That's true. Everything right now.
Literally.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Dozing. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Wake up. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Right. It was trees. Yes. Yes. Right. Right. If yeah. Yes. 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 Bye-bye.
Good. You got to hear from a parent's perspective about sleep too. So
Okay.
no, that's good.
Love that. Love it.
Sorry for the dryness.
It's okay. It's okay. I had to turn my mic down. I was smacking the wheel.
Oh no, don't do that.
I know.
Did you have any more questions? Any thoughts?
I feel like I had a question. I don't know what happened to it. Let's see.
Hey guys.
Even if you're not, you got your own shot.
That's my.
You're still. So if you're under 25, then you just.
Maybe like a environmental science.
But unless you can prove that you don't know who they are, they kind of like abandoning you. Your dad is your mom, like I don't know where she is. I've been kind of home all my life. Yeah, they try to lie. Yeah, and then we usually catch them sometimes. Like, wait, this year you know where they are, but last year, but this year you don't know where they are, but last year you do. Nope, nice try. You know, usually we take what they have, say at face value, and they have to, provide some type of documentation. Or get married, and have a kid. They're alive and you know who they are.
Well, now I'm about to
thing, and I told him to stick around and talk to you, but I don't know how serious you're the only one who's looking at.
Would you like to be in the camera?
Yeah, let's ask her first. You're medical. You're all of the information technology, right?
Yeah, health information. Yeah. Well, hold on, prep me first. But were you going to be?
I'm just gonna ask you about the program, like, tell us about it and how do students, like, how do they get in?
Okay.
You know, just stuff about the actual.
Okay.
progress.
And is this live? Like,
It's recorded on
It's
here.
recording, but
This-
we're gonna be editing it.
okay. So if I screw up, you can go back.
I've
Yeah.
screwed up everything. I'm sitting
Yeah.
here right now and my mouth is so dry and I keep drinking.
No
And I'm
pressure.
saying
It's
that.
just a normal conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So we are here. Wait, is it just information technology?
It's health information technology, but it's really 3 programs.
Okay.
Okay, so our most entry level would be our medical billing and coding program.
Okay.
And that is a 15-hour credit program.
Okay.
Many students will start off there to basically put their toes in the water to see if this is something they would like. One of the classes that they take is a coding class that introduces them to both CPT coding and ICD coding, which is basically procedural and diagnostic coding. They take both those systems into one class, and it really, truly gives them a feel for is this something that they want to do.
So when you say coding, right, for a CPT system and a ICD system, what does coding actually
Okay,
mean?
so basically what coding is you take the diagnosis that the physician has provided, and they document it in the patient's chart, and you assign a code to it.
Okay.
Okay, and the same thing for any procedures that were done. If the patient had surgeries or any bedside procedures, we look at that and we assign a procedural code to it. So those codes then will get billed to the patient's insurance companies or to Medicare, whatnot, and it basically tells usually will tell them how much the reimbursement is
Got
for.
it.
They assign it what we call a DRG. So if the coder assigns the incorrect code,
Okay.
the facility will get reimbursed the incorrect amount of money. So there's a lot of responsibility
Wow.
on that.
That's really good to know. So
Yeah.
in my head, while I'm processing this, I have a patient who comes to me to have a sleep study. The sleep study that we did is coded like with a number. That's for all sleep studies all over the United States, right?
Okay.
And then that coder has put the code with it, and then they send that sleep study code to the insurance company. The insurance company then says, we will pay this much money towards that, and then the insurance company tells you how much the patient may have to pay
Right,
back,
right.
So, but the coding program teaches students which code for which,
How to accurately
how to
assign
accurately
the code
assign.
because
Great.
the book, I got the book over there, is like this thick.
Wow.
I mean, think
Like
about
a
it.
Bible.
Every possible diagnosis
Right.
that's out there is in this book.
So many.
So we have to be able to look it up. And I mean, and think of it this way too. If we didn't have these code books, the coding system, and we were to send the insurance company a narrative of the diagnosis, and think about the different verbiage that's out there everywhere. So the insurance got it right. So the code makes it very accurate, very precise
Yes.
of this is what's going on with the patient.
And it streamlines the paying process from what I'm understanding. It's like
Yeah.
a stream, like helps you say this is that.
Right.
And I can only imagine how thick that book is because even when you're doing a sleep study, there's probably 4 different things that you can code separately within a sleep study.
And that's just for the procedure.
Wow.
Yeah, so you think about all the different diagnoses that are going into it. So yeah, and so coding is not just about how to go in that code book, find the code and sign it, but of course there's all kinds of guidelines out there, coding guidelines, coding rules per se. Well, if it's this situation, well, you should sequence this code first. Versus if it's this situation, then you do it this way. So sometimes learning the coding guidelines are actually more complex
Yes.
than how they actually look up the code.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of
Oh.
like how they have the tree, the branch tree. It's like, okay, this is the diagnosis. Okay, it's how
Which
the
one goes
yeah,
first?
which one
Figuring
goes
out
first?
the strategy
Yeah.
to know which one goes first, what would you do after that?
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe what you can add to that,
Right.
possibly.
Now, you guys right now are probably thinking just a simple diagnosis.
Very simple.
Now, let's move it into the real world.
Okay.
Okay? So, you're working for a Trauma One hospital, okay?
Uh-oh.
And you get that patient that comes in, after being in a car accident. They fracture half the bones in their body. Okay, so you got to be able to code all those. You got to really know your anatomy.
Wow.
To be able to code all that. And now, okay, so they come in with all these fractures. Of course, they're probably going to have complications.
Wow.
They're going to be anemic. They might end up getting a blood clot somewhere.
Wow.
So you got to be able to
It's very
code all that.
detailed.
So it's very, very complex.
Wow.
So going back to our programs, our medical billing and coding program, I mentioned there's one class where we teach 2 systems. That's just an introductory. If the students decide to go on, which most of them do, into our coding specialist program, now they're going to take one entire class just for the procedural coding system, CPT. They're going to take another entire class just for the diagnosis system. So we get very, very, very focused on the coding. So our coding specialist program is, I want to say it's a 41 credit program, if my memory is serving me right. And that's where, again, we focus more, get them more in tune and specialized into the different coding systems. They also learn about the electronic health record, which is a big part of it, HIM field. Yeah. So they can do that in 41 credit hours, and then at the end of their program, they can take a credentialing exam to become a credential coder.
Okay.
Or they may choose to go on into our associate level program, which is health information technology.
Okay.
And all the classes, I should say all, maybe all but one, roll over. So they didn't waste time per
Right.
se.
So
They've
go
been
into
building.
Building up,
field,
building
yeah.
up.
And then the health information technology program, they will take a class where teaching them about cancer registry, where you can get a job at a hospital working in their, collecting data on cancer patients,
Oh,
doing
wow.
follow-up to see how their, what
Wow.
the patients are doing. They take a class on management. In fact, I teach them, to prepare them for a job in being supervisor,
Right.
where they learn basic management techniques.
Right.
They also take a quality improvement class.
Very important.
So they become much more well-rounded.
Yeah.
Right.
Along with more coding.
Yeah.
So you're
Geez.
still doing more
There's
coding.
always coding that you can learn.
And then
Never
at
probably learned all of it.
so at the end of their program, that's when they're graduating, then they can sit for their credentialing exam to be what we call an RHIP, Registered Health Information Technician. They can get a job coding, like cancer registry, doing auditing of coding. It just opens up so many more doors. Data analytics is a big evolving field too in our
Yeah,
program.
I've heard.
Where think about everything we code goes into a database.
Right.
So data analytics is something that
I'm sure
definitely
they're probably bringing AI into that right there.
Right,
into
right.
that. Wow. So there's a couple of things that stood out that I really like about the program. Number one, I wish that we had in sleep, but we don't. Is that initial class that you've taken, that 15 hours, kind of like weeding out. Do I want to do this or do I not?
Right.
Because for me, they come in as a cohort and you're in.
Right.
I really like that aspect of come in, get your feet wet, and then decide from there if you want to go on. I think that that's very, very, very good. I think that would be very attractive for me if I was a student. To say,
Right.
I'm interested, right?
Right.
But how hard is this? Because students ask me all the time, so how hard is this? And what kind of math do I have to do? But I think that that is a very good step. And something else that you were saying, I like that throughout the program, it shows how you can progress from just billing and coding into management,
Right.
into analytics.
Right.
It's not like you're stuck on one level of your career.
Right.
The outlook can go outside of hospitals. You're talking about oncology. You can probably go into the government and work in this
Oh,
kind
absolutely.
because they need people, Medicare,
Absolutely.
Medicaid. It's like a
Insurance companies.
Insurance,
There's so
private
many.
companies.
Yeah, it's not like this is a field where you're only going to get a job in a
right.
hospital.
And you can teach. Look at you. Like you can.
I've
come
had
in
a
and
wonderful
teach.
career. I graduated myself here from Moraine Valley from this
Awesome.
program in 1987.
Don't make that face.
That was before really we were using computers. I mean,
Wow.
yeah. So I graduated from here in 1987, and I have never been in want of a job.
Amazing.
It's been this career has been very good to me.
It sounds fulfilling.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
really does sound fulfilling.
I am very blessed for my career. And like you said, now I'm teaching. I started teaching in 2014.
Yeah.
I started out just by teaching an adjunct class. We were transitioning from our diagnostics coding. We're going from ICD-9 to ICD-10, which was a big thing happening, and they needed someone to teach I-10. I already learned it from working out in the field.
Right.
And I thought, okay, I'll teach a class. Well, I absolutely loved it, and I was very fortunate. That doesn't happen much, but a full-time position became available after one semester of teaching
Nice.
adjunct, so I jumped on it.
Right.
But I also still kept coding on the side,
Yeah.
to keep my skills sharp.
Absolutely.
Because, you don't keep doing it, you start to lose it, and I want to be able to, for my students, I want to be the best that I can. And so I am actually coding for a hospital in Phoenix right now.
Nice. Okay.
That's another thing about our field, remote.
Yes.
And now, especially since the pandemic, almost all of HIM is done remotely.
Yeah.
So I code for a hospital out of Phoenix, and they are a level 1 trauma center and also the number 2 burn center in the country.
Oh wow.
So
Busy bee.
I get to code a lot of these really big bad burn charts,
Oh,
which
wow.
to me is very fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel horrible for the
No, for
patient,
sure.
but from I like applying those skills.
Absolutely.
So it's a great field to be in. But you do have to be a certain type of person, especially now that we are working in a virtual environment.
Virtual world.
You know, you got to be okay sitting at a desk for 8 hours and not having a
Self-motivating.
whole lot of interaction with people if you go into coding. Okay. And with being remote, it's getting harder to ask questions. You know, where back in the day, like I used to work at Christ Hospital back in the 80s, and you basically turn to your coworker in the next cubicle and say, hey, how would you code this?
Yeah.
And now you got to shoot an email to someone.
Yeah.
It's a little bit tougher.
You have to wait.
Yeah.
But you know, it's doable. You
Yeah.
know, our students are getting hired remotely and being trained remotely, and they're very successful.
Does he have any of your classes in that program that are online or like?
Not really, not too many. My electronic health record class is online. The one that we teach to our billing and our coding specialists. But I also teach electronic health record to the associate level.
Okay.
That is on site because that's a lot more in depth.
Right. And do
But-
they need clinical hours? Like, do they have to like do this like internship or clinical hours or anything?
The HIT students do.
Okay,
The
what
one
does
in
that
the
look
associate degree, they do go out on clinical, whether remotely or on site. It's
Okay.
getting harder and harder to find more facilities that will take them on site because they don't have people working on
Yeah.
site. So, you know, we do have one hospital system out of Indiana Community. They do a hybrid where some days the students come on site, some days they do it virtually.
Okay.
That's kind of the best of both worlds.
Okay.
And how many hours are required for those?
Clinical.
For the
Yeah, for the
HIT,
clinical.
that's 72 credit hours.
Okay.
Yeah, 72.
That-
It's a lot of,
72 clinical hours?
no, I'm sorry, 72 credit hours.
Gotcha.
Is that
Okay.
what you're, or
Oh,
clinical?
like for the clinical.
Yeah.
hours,
Clinical,
yeah.
they go out twice. They go out the summer of their first year in the HIT program. They go out for 3 to 4 weeks, 2 days a week. And then they do it again the semester that they're graduating, their final semester. They go out for 4 to 5 weeks, again, 2 days a week. So,
That's not bad.
Yeah, no.
That's not bad. I was just talking to Beth a little bit earlier, and they have 1,400 hours of clinical in the hospitals and stuff, and they start.
1,400?
Yeah, and they start week 5.
Wow.
So they're starting right away. We have clinicals in sleep too, but we don't start until the spring semester. And it's kind of like with you guys. We sit at the computer for 10 to 12 hours at night. So you have to be a certain kind of person to be able to stay up at night and stare at a computer, to do sleep studies too. So you got to be a certain kind of creature to do.
Well, I
certain
actually just had an experience because I just got diagnosed with sleep apnea.
things. What
And I did the home
happened?
study.
Okay.
And they're like, oh yeah, you stop breathing 17 times an hour.
Okay, yeah.
So I had to do the overnight
Okay.
to get fitted with the CPAP. So I met someone who knows you,
Okay.
Daniel.
Daniel.
Yes, he was
Okay.
my sleep tech. But yeah, he was there all night. He had to wake me up a
Yep.
couple times during the night
Yep.
to adjust something or
Yeah.
tell me to get on my back, whatever. So yeah, I got to experience
Okay,
your
how did it
field.
go? How did it go for you as a patient? Talk to me from a patient's perspective of having a sleep study.
Well, it went well. A piece of advice I have for anyone who's about to get a sleep study, try to be as tired as you can. And it worked out well because I was actually on vacation that week
Okay.
leading up to it. And then the night before, for some reason, I didn't get much sleep. So I went in there tired.
Yeah.
So that helped me go
Yeah.
to sleep. So they said I got to that deepest level of sleep like really, really quickly.
Okay, great.
It was, of course, awkward having that mask
Kinda
on my face. They
cumbersome.
tried doing the nasal only, but I'm a mouth breather, so that
Okay.
didn't work.
All
So
right.
they, had to do the full mask.
Yeah.
But because I was so tired,
You were just
with
like,
it,
do what you
yeah.
gotta do. And just lay
Yeah,
back
just
and
let me
knock
sleep.
out. Yeah.
So no, it went really good. Daniel was very, very good.
Good.
I felt very comfortable, very safe.
Great.
Except I did freak out because the first
Here
time he
comes the
came
freak
in
out.
during the night, at some point he put on like a black pull down hat. So I woke up in the
Oh,
middle
okay.
of the night to a guy with
With
a
a
little
ski mask on.
flashlight and the black. I mean, it was like
Was it Halloween?
it looked like a home intruder,
Oh
you
my
know.
goodness, yeah.
So that was kind of like,
Yeah.
you know.
Especially waking up seeing that, it's just like, where am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, but immediately
You kind of
So
looked in and was like, okay.
yeah, so no, it was actually it was a good experience,
Okay.
you know, and
For what you were doing, it was a pretty good experience. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody really wants to have a sleep study, but you know, when you can be comfortable doing something like that, that's the most we can ask for.
Yeah.
Have you gotten your CPAP and everything?
no, they said it would take 4 to 6 weeks, and
Okay.
so I'm still waiting for it to come in. But yeah, he said, or not, he said the report when I met with the doctor, Angela something Knight, maybe I can't quite remember her name. She said, yeah, I stopped breathing less than 1 time an hour after the CPAP, so it made a huge difference. So
Yes,
I'm
that's what we love. That's what we live for in sleep. We want to make sure that like less than 1 an hour is basically sleep.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping. I'm not looking forward to the CPAP, but I'm looking forward because the main reason I started investigating all of this was because my memory.
Yeah.
I was like starting to like
Yeah.
have a really hard time with my memory, and the previous Debbie, she was like,
Hey,
oh my
Deb.
God, she's like, you are textbook sleep apnea.
Textbook, wow.
I was putting on weight, my blood pressure was going up,
yeah.
all that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
She's like, you are textbook. So finally, after her like 3 years telling me, I'm
You
like,
finally went.
my memory got bad, you know.
Oh.
You know, my
We
poor
could have caught
husband.
that blood pressure before it started. We could have stopped that weight gain.
Yeah, I know. So I'm hoping that the
Once you get used to it, finding the best mask is going to be key for you. Because once you get used to it, the way you feel after you slept, like consistently, with having the right oxygen levels in your sleep, and you're not snoring, you're not waking your husband up, like you're gonna see the difference really quick.
And I'm looking forward to being able to watch the show with him at night without falling asleep. I mean, it's a guarantee. I'm going to fall asleep. I can't stay awake.
Yeah.
And so what I started doing is getting up and getting food
Yep.
to help me stay awake
Yeah.
to watch TV.
Yeah.
It has the waking.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then there we go. We were just talking about
Yeah,
that
being a
waking
late
up
night.
and just getting up and eating, especially if you can't sleep too. Like we go to like let's
Yeah.
try to grab
Like a
a
comfort
snack
food.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
To
But
make you feel. That's how I
Yeah.
looked at it. It made me feel comfort in the inside, and
Yeah.
it slowed me down. So I'm like, okay, now I feel sluggish. Okay, now I can go to
not
sleep.
can go to sleep.
Yeah.
Our mom has severe sleep apnea. Her snoring, she can the walls shake.
Wow.
So when I'm at home visiting, it's my mom's room, my little sister's old room, and then my room's on the side, like down the hall. In my room, a whole hallway away from her, we can hear her like shaking, and she has it. She doesn't use it, but it's the same thing. She can go to sleep at a drop of a
Oh
at
yeah.
night when
If
she
you challenge me right now, I can squat down this chair a little bit and I can put myself
Wow.
to sleep. I'm
Wow.
tired. I'm tired right
Are you
now.
a koala bear? Like, is that your? Because koalas sleep 22 hours a day. You know, like the koalas just sleep.
Yeah.
That's your spirit animal.
Yeah, no, I can go to sleep anytime, anywhere, no
Wow.
problem.
I'm excited for you to get your CPAP though, so that you can start feeling better and staying up and watching the movie.
Yeah. I'm already investigating that whole Inspire thing, though.
Okay.
I don't know if that's something, because I'm not looking forward to the whole mask.
You know what? The Inspire, from what I'm hearing, it's either people love it or they hate it. Because it is a device that's implanted underneath, and depending on how bad, how severe your apnea is, you may not qualify. So if you're mild to moderate, you qualify, but right at 20. So if you were 17 per hour, if you're at 20 and up, you won't even qualify for it. So you talk to somebody about it. Talk to somebody who uses it and see what they think. For me, I'm a little bit leery about anything that's pacemaker like-ish. Like what if it because it's pretty new. Like what if something glitches or so. And the CPAP is not that bad.
Right.
It's not that, and then once you start losing weight because you have energy and you're moving around and stuff, the only cure to apnea is weight loss. Once you start losing weight, your apnea goes down. You don't need high pressures anymore.
Does it?
Yeah,
Because they
eventually
were
you're gonna
telling me
have to.
no. They said, because I've already lost 24 pounds.
Yay,
I put myself on Weight Watchers in July.
Woo, woo,
So
yeah.
I'm 60 is my goal. I want to lose 60 pounds. So yeah, so I'm losing weight, but they said that they have patients that weigh 100 pounds and sleep apnea.
And you know what though? It also depends on your anatomy on the inside. If you
I
have a
carry a
narrow,
lot of weight in my neck.
if you have a narrow upper airway and you're really skinny, my sister here, she could have very bad sleep apnea. Also, if you ever had a deviated septum, my sister, if you've ever broken your nose, things like that, doesn't matter with your size, no matter what weight you are. However, if you have apnea due to having excessive weight on your upper airway when you
Yeah,
sleep,
see, I do. You can see I can carry. And I've lost a lot of weight by neck.
but
My
you-
neck was bigger.
you know what? When you lose more weight, your AHI, your apnea-hypopnea index is going to go down. Getting that weight off your neck, it is a possibility. Once you start losing that weight and get to that target weight, that you may not even have apnea anymore. When you get to the point when you lose, I'm gonna say, how about when you lose 10 or 20 more pounds, let me do a home sleep study on you, and let us see if your apnea has gotten better.
Okay.
We can track that because we actually have home sleep study.
Well, my
equipment.
CPAP machine detect that no, because it's fixing it, so it probably
It
won't.
does. And so anytime that you're still having apnea, it puts it on there. So the doctor can remotely look into your CPAP machine and see if you're still having apnea, and they'll adjust your pressure. Like if you're still having it, they can adjust it from where they are. If you're not having it, they won't adjust it. They're not going to bring it down unless you have another sleep study.
Right, gotcha.
But we can do one for you in a few months. You know,
okay.
well, once you start.
That'd be interesting to
Yeah,
see if
and
there's
track
a
it,
correlation
yep.
with weight loss.
If you know anybody who may need a sleep study, I do have home sleep
My
tests.
husband.
I have some. My students can prepare the test for him. If he wants to come in and just sleep for 3 hours, come to the lab because my students need people to hook up and they need people to monitor. And we can run the whole study for 3 hours for anybody. So we're also looking for volunteers. So let me know if you know anyone. We'll be glad to help. Deb, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. How can students reach out to you if they are interested in the program?
They can always email me. That's Morley D2 MORLEY D as in Debbie, number 2 at marinevalley.edu.
Okay.
Probably be the best way.
Okay.
So
And then the website, I'm guessing, can I just send them towards the website?
yeah, the website. That will put them with Mary Petrick. She's the program coordinator.
Okay.
That's perfectly fine too.
Okay.
So yeah, sorry I got us off track. with the
No,
whole-
listen, that's the
good.
part.
That was
This
great.
is the Sweet Dreams podcast. So
Yeah.
everything is gonna go back to sleep one time or another.
Yeah.
So thank you
Alrighty.
so much.
Yes.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, I'll put it on the mic.
Yeah, they said my oxygen dropped down to below 72% a couple times.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
So I know.
When you get that CPAP, bust that bad boy open and start using it, because that is, we're supposed to be above 90. Optimal is 94 while sleeping, and you're dropping to 72.
It makes sense, I guess, if you stop breathing.
And you know what? No, low oxygen means low energy.
Yeah.
High oxygen when you sleep. Low oxygen when you sleep, you're gonna feel like crap in the morning.
I was just starting to feel so, I'm 56,
Yeah.
but I was starting to feel old,
Yeah.
tired,
Yep.
lethargic, my memory,
Yeah.
it's just
The
horrible.
cognition is like the first thing. Like, for me, it's the first thing to go. A lot of people that are coming in there, and I already know they have high blood pressure and stuff, but they start saying, like, I just forget. Like, you know, it starts off with, where are my keys?
Yeah.
Which is something kind of you would think is normal, but then after a while, it's like, what am I supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah.
And it just grows and grows.
Yeah, my husband constantly, I told you, we just talked about this. Yeah, it was just getting so bad.
Yeah, that sounds like our mom.
Yeah.
Our mom. All right, Deb,
All
thank
right.
you
So
so
I was
much.
gonna pop in your office someday
Pop on in.
to just pick your brain about all this.
Let's
So
do it. I'm
I was waiting for
getting
you to
ready
get
to-
acclimated.
I'm here. You got to catch me in there, though. I'm not there until the evening time. That's the only thing. All right, Casey, I'm gonna let you go ahead and just keep going. I have to go to the bathroom real
Okay.
quick.
I'm
If you don't mind.
put this on.
Feel free to ask questions to people who work by or anybody. I will be glad.
Let's see. Of course, I will be holding the Sleep Disorders for Dummies book because I am the one who doesn't know anything about sleep, guys, as you all know. So let's look through here. Let's see. Sleeping in the king's position. Oh, there are different ways to sleep. I mean, I knew that there were different ways to sleep, but there are literally tons snoring, and then there's snoring. Wow. Let's see. Several soft tissues create the noises associated with snoring, including your throat, your soft palate, which is the roof of your mouth, and your uvula. And your uvula is a long piece of soft tissue that hangs from the back of your soft palate down to your throat. When an opera singer hits a high C in a cartoon and the camera zooms in on their mouth, the funny looking piece of flesh you see vibrating is the uvula. I think I knew that, but I didn't know that. Let's see what else. Interesting. Popping pillows. What is on chest straps? Devices. Okay. I'm going to save this when she comes back. Yeah, guys, how do you guys sleep? You don't know because you're sleeping. Foolish as fuck shit. What is this? We assume you are having trouble getting to sleep or have a family member or close friend who is having problems with sleep. We also assume that you bought this book, because you're looking for current and helpful information about sleep disorders, their diagnosis, and treatment. This book contains the most up-to-date. See, I thought this was gonna explain it or something. Speaking some sleep slang. Sleep is such a basic part of the human experience that the English language boasts in many ways to refer to the process, including snoozing, hitting the page, getting Freudian sleep, logging some Z's or catching some shut-eye. Sleepers may be in the land of Nod, the arms of Morpheus is one of the songs of Somnus, the Greek god of sleep, or Lala. People often see sleep as people can't see anything. Something wrong with their ears trying to make them fall back to sleep. Unfortunately, it's I will ask some questions, but I don't know any questions to ask. There are stages of sleep. Let's see how many. There are 4 stages of sleep, known as a non-rapid eye movement.
I thought it was, she asked to reach out and ask if you guys were something maybe draw. Exactly, I'm like, no, microphone? Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Have inspired countless poems, songs, and lullabies, long before people had any scientific evidence of sleep benefits. The English poet Larry nonetheless demonstrated tremendous insight into its importance. In his poem, To Sleep, Ward words, while discussing his own insomnia, introduced the concept of counting sheep as a way to try and fall asleep. A flock of sheep that leisurely passes by, one after one, the sound of rain and blues memory, the flow of rivers, winds and seas, smooth fields, white sheets of water, and pure sky. I have thought of all by turns, and yet do lie sleepless, and soon the small birds must hear first uttered from orchid trees, and the first cuckoo's mellow. Maybe I should just. Huh?
Are you currently talking?
Yes. Oh, no, you're good. It's a podcast. It's all
So
good.
you're a student here or you work here?
No, I'm actually volunteering. My sister is actually the director of the sleep program.
This is y'all just doing this on your own. Y'all don't even y'all not a part of the college like that.
No, she is. She teaches here.
So what is the podcast for?
Just to get people to come in and talk about sleep.
So who's gonna hear it? Like who's the audience?
So right now it's on YouTube, and then we do have a recording chip in here. So it's gonna get edited and then it's gonna get posted.
Okay, so this is something that you guys rented and or bought and did yourself. Oh, I thought y'all was part of the marketing department.
Oh no, this was just an idea. She was like, let's just do a podcast.
Yeah, that's what I want to do because I work in financial aid. And I was
really?
like, wait a minute. If they're working for marketing, they can help us.
Oh yeah, no, she rented it from the
From the
library.
library. Oh, okay. Because this is the exact thing. I'm like, students don't come to workshops.
Exactly. That's
But
why
they will click on a YouTube or
a podcast. That's what I said, and I would too. So
Me too. I wouldn't come to no workshop.
yeah,
Or information said,
right.
That's weird. But
Yeah,
students, nah.
yeah. This is how we're trying to catch them, get them in.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. We're taking a brief intermission. Talking to some folks here. How are you guys? I hope you guys are having a lovely day. It's Saturday, 11:17. I know this place is gonna wrap up at about 12 o'clock. I'm not sure how long we're gonna stay the whole time, so we try to keep it. I see that they have some breakfast items over there, and I'm so hungry. And I like smoothie in the car. But we're here for sleep, we're not here for